All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thanks for joining us today for this Library Learning Lounge webinar. We're really glad you're here. So today's session, we're going to be highlighting two key info-based resources, Credo Reference and Films on Demand. You might be familiar with these collections. They provide high-quality reference content, topic overviews, and streaming video that can easily be integrated into your courses. Now, the UAGC library provides full access to both of these platforms to support your teaching, your learning, and research across many disciplines. Before we begin, I just wanted to give a quick housekeeping note. To ensure a good recording for anybody watching this later, please try to keep your microphone muted and your camera off during the demo. I'm going to be taking my camera off as well in just a minute. And that being said, though, we love questions. Feel free. You can either use the chat. We want this to be interactive, or we'll have plenty of time for a question and answer session at the end. I'll be dropping a few links into the chat once the demo starts. Feel free to explore Credo and Films on Demand as we go. We'll also be sharing a few support materials that you can use in your courses. I've got an HTML announcement if you want to let students know about Credo Reference and things like that. And just a heads up, when you leave the Zoom session today, you'll see a very short, it's just 2 questions, a survey that we'd really appreciate your feedback on. This helps us plan future library learning lounges and just making sure we're meeting the mark. So before turning things over to our guest, I'll just quickly show you where to find these databases in the library. And this is our library homepage. Now, with any database in our library, you can find it by going to Find Articles and More. And the easiest way, there's several different ways to get there, but I find the easiest way, if you know the database, if you have it in mind that you want to look for, you can go to Databases A to Z. And here you can jump to either C for Credo Reference here, or of course, Films on Demand would be under F for Films on Demand. Now, I do want to mention both of these are actually discoverable in our EDS, our discovery system. So students don't necessarily need to search for these databases separately. Relevant reference articles and streaming videos will appear directly in their Library One search results with links to full text or full video. Okay, so I am going to stop my share. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Lisa Hill from InfoBase. Lisa, thank you so much for being here today. She's going to guide us through a 30-minute demonstration, give or take, of both platforms, followed by time for questions and discussion. Lisa, thank you. We're excited to get started.
Fantastic. Thank you for having me. And if there's ever a time I'm speaking too quietly or you need me to repeat something, just go ahead and give me a shout or drop it into the chat, and I'll do my best to accommodate. My demos tend to take around 30 to 40 minutes, and I try to keep it succinct and informative. I am joined by my colleague today. Stephanie Ramirez is here. Stephanie, you don't need to come off on camera or anything. I'm just saying hi for you. Stephanie is the account owner of the University of Arizona Global Campus, and will be writing down any questions that might come up that we can't answer live. We will do our best to answer all the questions live. But the interesting thing about Films on Demand and Credo, as you will see shortly, is we have just moved to a brand new platform, and they're actually both on the same platform, and you can toggle between them, as well as get there via discovery. So we'll do our best to answer all of your questions live. Let's dive in. It's my goal today to show you just an overview of what is each product, show you how students might use it, but then also show you guys, faculty, how you can get your arms around the specific content and maybe find simpler ways for you to actually use this content and put it into your courses. So that's my goal for today. And let's go ahead and get started. So I do want to start by mentioning we're on a brand new platform. It's an integrated platform where any info-based resource you subscribe to is going to be on this platform and toggleable. For you folks, that's Credo Reference and Films on Demand, but it just makes it a lot easier that students it's one less thing for students to have to navigate and find their way around. So we'll be seeing this brand new platform. This is a screenshot of the toggle feature. You guys, again, Credo reference and films on demand, but right on your platform, you just with one button can toggle over to see streaming video or toggle over to see Credo reference. So this means if your students come to Credo via EDS Discovery, they do a search on, dogs or whatever, and they land on an article about dogs in Credo, they can, with one toggle, just move over to Films on Demand and continue searching in there. But they are still two totally separate resources, and you are linking to them totally separately as well. This platform is new and is intended to meet the accessibility standards that were supposed to be mandated for April, but I don't know if that's been extended. I've heard a rumor that it was extended, but this platform is ADA compliant. It is WCAG 2.2 AA. We're trying to meet those standards. I am going to drop into the chat once I get out of this PowerPoint. I'm going to drop in our accessibility information into the chat so anybody in the accessibility group can have all that information right at their fingertips. So Credo reference, think of us as general knowledge, general reference, encyclopedia content, multidisciplinary, over 1,000 full text titles in every subject you can imagine. So reference content, that's kind of an old-fashioned word these days, but it's fact-based background information written by and vetted by academic publishing houses, experts in the field from publishers that you've heard of, like Elsevier and Sage and Springer and Wiley. All of this really great content to help students, particularly beginning researchers, particularly those students in the first and second years of college when they're trying to get their feet under them and really learn what academic research is all about. I'll show you how you can kind of navigate this content. So it is a place to get foundational information, but it also has tools within the platform that I'll show you that can help your students with exploratory search, like help them uncover things that they didn't even know they were looking for. These are skills that our students really need to still develop these days, even though AI is there to help them give them answers and things like that. We want to help them make sure they still know what exploratory search is and how to uncover things using their own critical thinking skills. And then we have seamless integration. We are integrated, as Karen mentioned, in your discovery system. We also have other integration options, which I won't get into because I really just want to show you how to use the platform. It's already set up for you, so you don't have to worry about the integration. Here are a handful of the different publishers that we work with in Credo. And again, it is full text and from 100 different publishers of reference content. When you search Credo, you're looking at full text articles from these full text works. Now, Films on Demand is multidisciplinary streaming video. So Credo Reference and Films on Demand are fantastic partners. One is multidisciplinary images and text. The other is multidisciplinary streaming video. And with this platform, you can actually save content in one folder and share that out or save it or embed it in your coursework if you want to. So 40,000 educational videos, upwards of 40,000 educational videos covering 700 topic areas. Oops. I missed my slide. There we are. Campus-wide, so we have content for every occasion and for every department on campus, seamless integration, which I've already talked about. But another important thing about Films on Demand, it is unlimited, as is Credo. But a lot of other streaming video services out there do have limited access and gateways to access and things like that. But for your students in your community, you could have as many people watching your video content at the same time. There is no boundary. There's nothing that will stop them from doing that, and there's no added fees. So please stream to your heart's content. Here are a handful of the producers we work with. While Credo Reference pulls in content from 100 different publishers of reference content, Films on Demand brings in over 1,000 producers of video content, and here are a handful, and many of those you've heard of. You guys subscribe to something called our Master Academic Video Collection, which is our general knowledge collection. And you can see all the different areas where we'll have hundreds of videos for you. You also subscribe to something called our Career and Technical Education Collection, which focuses more on career and job technology content. These are combined in your films on demand, but I'll show you how you can filter between the two if you just want to look within one specific subject area. So this is the website if you need any help, like technical help. I don't think you guys will need it, but I do want to drop into the chat right now. This page, not this page, but this page. So this is our accessibility area for our new platform. If any of you do need that information about the accessibility, I'm going to drop it right into the chat right now, and you can all click it and have access to it moving forward. So I just put it into the chat, and you'll be able to click into these different articles. I will say, if you click into the accessibility statement for the info-based platform, if anybody needs it, the VPAT is located and linked right in there. So that is with you guys now. And let's go take a look at the live site. So this is Credo reference. And with one toggle, I can scroll over to Films on Demand. So there are two standalone platforms. Sorry about this. Hold on one second. I haven't used it in a minute. Two standalone platforms that you get to with the links on the homepage that Karen pointed out. When I demo, I'm going to show you two different ways. I'm going to show you how students can approach using this resource. And then I'm going to show you how faculty can approach it and librarians can approach it a little bit differently than maybe how students approach it. I'm going to start with using it as a librarian and a faculty member first. And the way to do that is to go to the Collections tab. So I'm going to click on Collections. Right now I'm in Films on Demand. So this is what you have access to from Films on Demand. There's your Master Academic Collection. There's your Career and Technical Education package. This Archival Films and Newsreels collection is kind of separate, but it's really part of the Master Academic package. I'm not really sure why it's separate on the collections page, but that's where you're going to find a lot of newsreel content. And then you have purchased content perpetually in the past, and you'll see the full list there. So I did want to show you how to kind of get your arms around your content and really understand what's in Films on Demand before I kind of show you how to browse through it. So I'm going to open up the Films on Demand Master Academic package. And it shows we have 33,000 full videos in this collection. It is pre-filtered by the name of your collection and the type of content that you'll find in there, full video series, speeches, and we have some audiobooks as well. And you have filters right here to help you get really granular with the content. So if you wanted to see what type of content we have in your subject area without actually executing a search first, this is where you can come. So if you are a teacher of nutrition, for example, you can filter by nutrition and see all of the videos indexed within our nutrition subject area. Now we filter our results in a number of different ways. On the collection view where we are right now, you'll see the word full video, and that'll tell you that you're looking at full video content. I'm going to come back and actually show you the full videos in a little bit. I'm going to remove my nutrition filter and show you again that you can do the same thing with other filters here. So if you're interested in producers of content, if you want to know what you have from HBO, for example, which we have listed as home box office, you can filter by producer and see the full titles, 115 full HBO titles here that you can open up, view, link to, search, etc. So that is how you can kind of navigate. I want to show you over on the right here, we have something called the share button and the export all titles button. You'll find these buttons on every single info-based platform result page. We happen to be looking at a quote result page for the HBO content in Films on Demand. So this is just ways for you to navigate your collection and understand what's in there. You can export all titles as well for any result page that you create. So we're looking at 115 HBO titles. You can export that list to Excel just so you have it and so you know. And you can do that with any of the filters that you find here. I'm going to toggle over to, I'm going to go back to the home screen for Films on Demand. I'm going to toggle over to Credo reference, and I'll show you that you can do exactly the same thing. I know historically librarians, oops, it's a little buggy still. Hold on one second. go over to Credo reference and click on collections. Steph, this might be a bug. Steph, we might want to write this one down. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, folks. Bear with me. Let me refresh. There we go. And go to collections. There we are. You can see that there's your academic core title list and there's your perpetual purchase list. So you've purchased books perpetually as well. Here is where you're going to find your Credo title list. Historically, I think I was interrupted by the lag on my computer. Librarians have often asked us, where can I get the Credo title list so I know what's in there? This is how to do it. You click on that collections tab and you're in your academic core. You have 1,300 full encyclopedias and dictionaries. You can link to the title list, you can export the title list, and you can apply whichever filters you choose. Right here, I'll choose a publisher and I'll go down to Princeton University Press, for example. And this is also where you can see all of the different publishers that are providing content to this collection. 65 titles from Princeton University Press, all full text. And again, all linkable with these share links, or you can export to Excel. All right, so I wanted to start by showing you all what's in the content and how you can go to your collections tab, open up the name of one of your title collections and filter and play around with the subject filter or the producer filter or the language filter, whatever you want, so you can see what the content is in there. But now I want to treat myself like a student and show you how Credo and Films on Demand can combine to be a really helpful tool for students at the beginning part of their research. And in so doing, I will show you all the bells and whistles on the platform as well. So with Credo Reference, it is a general knowledge, general reference title list. And it, again, is a great place to bring beginning researchers who are writing their first research paper, or just getting their feet under them in academic research. The home screen shows our most popular searches across all of Credo users globally. So this will be updated from time to time, but these are mostly the most frequently searched terms in Credo Reference today. And then we have a list of very short video quick tips, research quick tips that might help your students get a leg up on doing their research with little short video instruction. But I'm going to start by clicking the subject browse. So I'm a student. I've been assigned an open-ended paper. I can write on any topic that I want. So what we provide here is a list of broad subject areas. And within each subject area, dozens to hundreds of vocabulary words. So if I have a general interest in environmental sciences, I'll go to environmental sciences, I'll click view all, and I've exposed a number of terms that can help me start creating keywords to research, ideas, and different areas that I can filter down and explore. So ecofeminism, drought, dust bowl, ecology, lagoons, hybrid electric cars. I'll start extremely broadly, and I'm just going to click on the word environment, and it executes a search as if I had searched the term environment in my Credo reference search box. Now, as you guys know, environment is a very large, broad topic, and as a result, our results are wide-ranging. Now, note this is a result page, so you still have your share link and you have your export all titles over on the right. 48,000 titles is unwieldy. There's probably never a time you're going to share a link to 48,000 titles, but you do have these filters here that will allow you to get extremely granular should you choose to. We also have a Boolean dropdown to help you with title keywords or excluding keywords. I'm going to scroll down. We'll take a look. As you can see, it's kind of all over the map. But please note that every article entry is listed, and then the full text ebook that we've pulled it from is listed. So you have the choice of going to the article named environment or to the source, the actual encyclopedia's table of contents page. So I have the Environment and Environmentalism article from the Encyclopedia of American Studies. I'll open that up. And you can see what one of our Credo reference articles looks like. So this is taken from the Encyclopedia of American Studies, which happens to be an encyclopedia that is very top heavy with images. That's what they put their images at the top of the article. Not every article is going to be like this at all. So what you're looking at is the full text, exactly what you would read if you were reading the environmentalism article in the Encyclopedia of American Studies. Full text, I'm not going to go all the way down to the bottom. With any images, your students are more than welcome to use our images for research and educational purposes. They're not allowed to doctor the images in any way or use them like on social media. It has to be for research and academic purposes. And at the top of every entry page, you have a save option, a share option, and a cite option. Now, I have already created a user account, and that's probably the first thing all of you should do when you kind of get set loose in this environment. On the left, where it says saved, you click that link and you'll be prompted to enter an email address and create a password. Doing so will allow you to save content and share content. I've already done that. So what I'll do for the rest of the demonstration is I'm going to save little bits of content. And at the end, I'm going to share that package with all of you. So you can click it and see exactly what your students might experience if you were to do the same thing. So we're looking at the environmentalism article. I'm going to click save. I don't have any folders yet. It's a brand new account that I've just created. So there's nothing there for me to save to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save to a new folder called environment. And I'm going to save. All right, so I've saved that article. I'm going to go back and I want you guys to focus over on the right-hand side of the screen to our mind map. Now, I mentioned there are a number of ways that you can really dive into exploratory search using Credo reference. That mind map is one of the ways to do it. Films on Demand also has this mind map, by the way. You'll see it on the right on any result page. So if I scroll around, I can see environmentalism, I can see sustainability, I can see ecology, pollution. These are all terms that are related to my central term environment, and the terms that will show up with the greatest amount of frequency when I'm reading about quote unquote environment in my Credo content as a whole. So I'm going to click into environmentalism, and you'll note that my entire result set now changes and is focused on environmentalism. I can scroll down and see again, it's still a very broad topic. We're bringing in health, we're bringing in political science and politics and history as well, and all of these different articles. I can use the filters here. Now, what I've done is whenever you run a search in Credo reference, you're turning up article results from books. But you also have the option to filter by format just to see if you have any books on the topic, like whole subject encyclopedias. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to filter by book, update my results, and now I have 22 titles that deal with environmentalism and environmental topics. And this is the second way I can really use this platform in exploratory search, because encyclopedia indexes and tables of contents are treasure troves for exploratory search. So if I'm interested in environmental topics, I can go into environmental debate, a documentary history, look at the book's table of contents, and then see a full list of documents related to environmental history for the past 500 years, it looks like. I can open up any of these articles, read through them, save them, share them. It'll have that same view as the environmentalism image heavy article that we saw earlier. I'm going to go back here. I'll open up in American environmental leaders. Now I have a list of basically biographical entries of people within environmentalism. So I started super broad with the word environment, and I explored using both our mind map and our table of contents. Now I find a term here, John James Audubon. I'll click on that. I'm brought to a full text article about Audubon, where I have at the top of my article page my save option, my share option, a URL, and an embed code. And by the way, your URL includes your account ID, and why that's important is your account ID is tied to your authentication. So any link you place anywhere, your authentication will kick in. If your student is outside the IP range, they'll be able to easily access your content. You'll also note that all of our articles and videos have embed codes, and that will allow you to embed content into your coursework or your course page. We also have a citation option. We had that on the last page too. When I saved the content, I forgot to show you the citation, but they're available in 4 different formats. And we have a export tool, export to your favorite citation management system down at the bottom. I'm going to save this James John Audubon to my environment folder and continue on. So now I've gotten to John James Audubon. I'm going to just go ahead and type this right into my search box. Last time I clicked on the word environment, now I'm searching John James Audubon, and I'm doing this intentionally because there is no mind map for John James Audubon. Sometimes you will see a mind map and sometimes you won't. In this case, it can be a little persnickety. If you do want to see if there is an Audubon related mind map, it may just be the syntax of how you've typed the term. This is something we're actively working on, but I did want to let you know that if you're concerned that you're not finding the Audubon content that you thought would be there, or a mind map, just rephrase it up in your search bar and you'll see. So here we have more John James Audubon content, and I'm going to filter by art because he's an artist. An art studies, and we'll see 56 results related to Audubon and the images and drawings that he has done. And I'll save this for later as well before we move on to films on demand. All right, I'm going to back out of that. And I'll just do, you see how there's a save option right in the entry itself? If I know I want a number of Audubon images, I can just go down the list. You'll note that the images displayed on our result is actually from the book jacket. It's not the image that you're going to be looking for. I'm going to click environment and then click save. And that is that. All right. So now what I want to do is, let me go back. Yeah, I'll just go ahead. Run a search on James John Audubon, but I'm going to toggle over to films on demand. So I've got my reference content. Now I want to see if I have any streaming video content related to James John Audubon. We do have the, one second here, the same subject browse that you can use from films on demand. It's a little slow today. My apologies. Hold on a sec. I happen to be doing a keyword search. And talk amongst yourselves. You never want this to happen in a live demo. That's not helpful. So let me go toggle over to films on demand. I swear it is here. There we go. With a very paltry mind map. We don't have a very aggressive mind map for James John Audubon. You can hide this or keep it open, up to you. But you'll see now we're on the Films on Demand page, and it looks exactly like the Credo reference page. You know you're on Films on Demand because it says Films on Demand up in your search bar. And you'll note that in Credo reference, we were showing results on the article level. With Films on Demand, you're seeing them on full video or segment level. So you'll see some say full video and some say segment. The third one here says Origin of John James Audubon is a segment from the title Audubon, which happens to be the first article. So I just want you to be aware of what it is you're looking at. In your results, you still have your filters here like we saw for Credo reference. They're exactly the same filters. And you have your share features and export options. I'm going to open up Audubon, the full hour-long documentary on John James Audubon. This is what our video player looks like. This one does not yet have audio descriptive text, but will be coming, or not text, but will be coming in the coming weeks. Some of our videos have a table of contents like this, which again aids exploratory search nicely, and you can hide that. All of our videos have searchable, scrollable transcripts and captioning and 10-second seek to scan, everything that you would hope to have in a 2026 video player. You'll note at the top of the screen, we have a save function. So I'm going to save this to my environment article, or folder, I should say. We have the share function where I can share the URL or the embed code of the video, and a cite option. And there's again, APA, Harvard, Chicago, just like we saw with Credo reference, same functionality, same navigation, different content. But what you'll note up here is we also have a snip tool, and this you will absolutely need to create your own account to be able to access. If you are looking at this particular video, and let's say you're really only interested in early paintings, occupation in New Orleans, and Audubon's search for publication. You want these three segments in one video. You can create a snip out of any chunk of content, and I'll do it live for you here. So we want the early paintings. The only thing you need to know are the timestamps, and you can find the timestamps both in the transcript or in the table of contents page over here. So it looks like early painting starts around 1012 and the search for publication ends around 33. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my snip and I'm going to look for a start time. Like you can scroll ahead using the transcript and then just click into it. So I'll click into 1006, hit that green button, and now it's 1006. And now I need an end time. And remember, it was like around 33. So I'll just go to 34. And, oops, 33:04. There we are. And I save it. A second, there we are. Save my snip. And I'm saving it to my environment folder. And it's called Audubon Snip. Save. All right. So I have shown you Films on Demand. I have shown you Credo Reference, and I've shown you how to navigate. What I want to do now is show you what you can do with that saved content that you created. You can create as many of these folders as you want to, and you can open them up. So I've saved a number of reference articles and 2 videos. One is the full 50-minute video on Audubon, and the second is that little snip we created of the 20 minutes in the middle of the Audubon video. So what I'm going to do is on the, and by the way, you have arrows here that you can move things around should you want to, and change the order. You can delete, you can rename. But I have a share feature here, which will allow me to share the URL or embed this in my course if I want to. So the first thing I'm going to do is just show you what it would look like if I shared the URL, which I'll do in a minute. But what we do is we create a little package on the right-hand side of the screen of all the content that we've looked at today together. And you can do the same thing. So we looked at the environmental from Johns Hopkins University Press. Then we looked at a biographical entry of John James Audubon from the environmental leaders. Then we saved a number of images from Audubon. We never opened up and actually looked at the images. We just saved them right from the result page. But it was easy to do that just by clicking down the list. And then here's the full 50-minute documentary on Audubon, followed by that little snip that we created. And the cover page is going to be the same. It's going to be whatever is at the front of the longer video. But this is the shorter, like 10-minute or 12-minute snip that we created. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go back to my saved. I'm going to go to my share link and I'm going to drop that share link into the chat. And you should be able to open, excuse me, this directly in your own browser. So I'll just drop it into the chat right now. If you're outside the IP range, excuse me while I take some water. You may need to authenticate, but that's exactly the experience that your end users will get if you were to create folders of content and share with them. All right, so I'm 35 minutes past the hour. I did want to save some time for questions. It looks like we had a few. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Karen. You put some comments right in the chat there. CML announcement. And then I dropped something into the chat. All right, so there are, if you have any questions about anything that I've just shown you, go ahead and ask them. I know that I kind of did it at high speed, and I know that we had a couple of technical problems that Stephanie and I will go back and report. But I hope that you were able to take away something of value and get you guys excited about using this. Yes, can you review how to create a snippet of a video again? Yes. So let me just X this out. I have a lot of things on my screen that I don't think you guys can see, and that's why I'm all over the place here. So let me just go to Films on Demand, Hummingbird. So we've got this nice hummingbird effect. Whoops. Why can't I get this open? Hold on a second. I just lost my screen. Let me go over here. I'm going to stop sharing for a second so I can get my browser up again. That was weird. Excuse me, guys. Get down. There it is. All right, let me share my screen again. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. It's gone. There it is. Whew. All right, step one of creating a snip for yourself is making sure that you have created your own account. You won't be able to save anything unless you've done that. So the thing that you need to do to create a snip in this video, which I'm showing you, doesn't have a table of contents like the Audubon video did. So the only thing that you need, because not every video will, but every video will have a transcript with timestamps. So these timestamps are the things that you need to create your snip. So obviously you would watch the video so that you know exactly what timestamp would be. But once you know your timestamp, you go into this area, click snip. You put the starting time, and you can like type it in. If it's minute 12, you can go 12:00. Or if you know where it is in the transcript, you can just click right into the transcript. So I'll type it in for the first one. You click this green button. So the snip will start at minute 12 and we'll have it end on like 15 or yeah, 15:15. So I'm just going to go into the transcript. I'm not wearing my glasses. So I'll do 15:13, I think that is. I just click right into it. Then I click this green button where it says end time. It automatically enters whatever I've highlighted into the transcript. And then you click save snip at the top. So you've saved that little 3-minute snip I just created. You can rename it right here, anything you want to name it. And then you have to remember to actually save it to a folder. In this case, I would save it to the one I created, or I can create a new folder and then click save. And then to find your snip, you just go into your saved results, open your folder, and there you'll see that hummingbird video that we just created. Hopefully that answers your question. Sure, yeah, it's super easy to use, super intuitive.
Lisa, this is one of the librarians, Anna. I have a question about the SNPs. If we wanted to use this in a course, is there a link we could use from our SNPs?
Is there a link, did you say?
Yeah, so like if I made a snip for something I wanted to post in a course in Canvas, where would I grab the link to for that little snip? Is that what we're calling them? Snips? Sorry.
Yeah, they're snips. You could find it on the snip itself.
Okay,
But first, let me show you from this page, the saved results. Here's my Audubon snip, or here's my hummingbird snip. Click the 3 buttons, and then you can click share. You get both a URL and an embed, and it would be just for the snip. It's not for the full
perfect.
list. But if you're in the snip itself, or if you create a snip, well, that's actually the snip. Let me go to the larger video. We'll go to the Audubon one. Once you create a snip, and again, I'll just put whatever, I'll just click in here and just do it for demo purposes. This is like a 30-second snip I'm creating. Once you've saved it, save to Audubon snip. Oh, that's weird. Create snip. Because the URL is right here, which is strange. I would just go in, I'm going to figure out I don't know what this URL at the bottom actually does, so I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
To save it, let's go just to here and then use your save and share features.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sure, no problem. Stephanie, you need to write that down. What does this URL do at the bottom? Any other questions? Well, thank you for giving me so much time today, and I hope you learned something valuable that you can use.
Thank you so much, Lisa. We really appreciate you being here and walking us through that. I know we get very excited when we see a new platform design, and it's always
Mhm.
helpful to have an expert come and show us. So we just really appreciate your time.
Great.
And just a reminder for everybody that after you leave the Zoom today, please take 2 minutes and fill out a short survey. It's just 2 questions that will help us prepare future library learning lounges. But yeah, if I'll give just one moment if anybody has any last comments or questions they want to share, go right ahead. And doesn't sound like
Yeah,
it,
glad to
so
see so many people in the
yeah.
chat saying this is they enjoyed the presentation and that they learned a lot and that they are liking the new platform as well. So that's fantastic.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for
Thank,
joining us. Thanks, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
All
thank
right.
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.